Both.
Body is a matter. We see the manifestation. Anxiety first takes place in the mind.
Right? Yeah.
So, am I clear that all experiences takes place in the mind?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be aware all problems, pain, sorrow, pleasure, good, bad, feeling takes place in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now ask the next question. Is mind you?
No.
Why to worry?
Not. That's right.
Why to worry? So what happens? I identify myself with the mind. When I experience the anxiety, and the moment I identify, it goes to the body, it gives you those symptoms.
Yeah.
And then the mind repeats it again and again. No, you have it, you have it, you have it. And I take it for granted. It is me, me, me. It is not me. So that is why we say, our master. You see, the one beautiful thing it came to my mind. Every book, 3,000 book, the very first few verses says, learn from the teacher. And the teacher says, learn from the books. Every book says, first, it should be a teaching, learning has to be done from a live teacher. And the teacher says, I pick up the principles from the book. That is the first thing. Second thing, there was a story of Swet Ketu. He studied all the literature 9 times. So his father said, did you achieve that? No, I did not achieve. I still have a stress. So his father was a great master. He started teaching that first you learn the principles and then you sit with eyes closed and contemplate and reflect. So if you do not think in yourself that here is my mind, all experiences takes place in the mind, let me watch it, let me reflect on it, and the moment you reflect, that you see the anxiety is not you. Anxiety is too far from you, the stress is too far from you. That is the art. So second step is to contemplate and think. So why it does not happen? Because that knowledge is not properly assimilated, digested by the mind. I can give you example. How many times I said that real self is your real nature. It is full of permanent peace and happiness. Have your mind, even for a single day, told you that I am real self? No, because I do not think. So the anxiety will continue. See that? See the point? Understand? Again, it is teaching from the I wake up in the morning, you wake up in the morning, you never forget your name, you never forget your house, you never forget your car, you never forget your kitchen, you never forget your restroom, but we forget what is our essential nature. See that? See that? So why I forget? Now answer this question. Why I forget? Because I have lot of things to do in the world, that is why I forget. How come you forget your real nature? And why? That will take us to permanent peace and happiness. Look at it. Why I forget? So the answer is the same, that I do not think, I do not want the mind to assimilate and digest the knowledge. It has nothing to do with the belief or blind belief. I do not see that. I do not digest that. That is why our master says, empty the mind. Then you have a single thought that I am your real self. And when the mind is empty, it is not distracted, it is not going outside anywhere, then that mind lives within and experiences, oh yes, peace and happiness are within me, and the anxiety, stress and duality remains in the mind. I am not the mind. The moment that identification is broken, you discover that permanent peace and happiness. See that? See that? This is why we say you have to learn how to empty the mind. Now, again ask the question, why should I empty the mind? Why should I empty the mind? What is the need of emptying the mind?
To find my inness.
Yes, because these crazy thoughts of anxiety, stress, duality, conflict pulls me to act outside. So mind is pulled outside. Mind starts thinking of the objective reality. What is objective reality? I am not. So that mind forgets it. Mind forgets the real self. And when the mind forgets the real self, whether we experience the anxiety and stress consciously or we do not. So when we do not experience, it is already there within me. How do I know it? No. After the meditation, I have to do a lot of work. I have to do this. I have to do this. That guy made me crazy. These are the thoughts need to be emptied. Nobody can make me crazy if I don't want. How dare anyone can make me crazy? But I am attached. My mind is running after the people, the objects. Oh, Philip make me crazy. No, Philip is already crazy. Why he will make... Jack, okay, thank you. This is what you are doing. Thank you, you do it. Take the word lightly. So during the day, in interaction with the people, take the word lightly. So when we take the word lightly means what? We are not carried away by any thought in the mind. See that. When we do not carry, we do not get carried away. After all, this is very clear to me that this is my house and house is not me. This is very clear. He is Jack and Jack is not me. Philip, not me. Other person, not me. That is very clear. So what is not me, when I identify, that causes the problem. When I am settled in myself, no problem at all. Settled in myself means, again see, Patanjali says, Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. What it means, when you empty the mind now reflects. The same mind was reflecting the anxiety, stress, duality and a conflict. Now the same mind is reflecting the real self. And that real self gives me the permanent state of being in peace and happiness, love and wisdom. But why it does not happen? Same answer, that the knowledge has to be assimilated again and again and again and again. Swatketu spent almost 25 years, 9 times. and still he became an academic person, but his stress was not gone. So the knowledge was not assimilated. And what is the way to assimilate the knowledge is knowledge first, understanding first, followed by the practice, regular practice. So now you can easily understand why I spent 26 years with my master. I was more crazy than people think. I had to learn it again and again and again. My master, it caught my mind when the master said to me that knowledge has to be assimilated, digested. It must become a part of your mind. So I wake up in the morning, first thought comes, I am not Girish, I am my real self. Now the things became clear. Who is Michelle? I know. We both know the Michelle. The moment we say Michelle, we know her attitude, her way of speaking, her gender, possibly more or less her age. The same way, when I say real self, my mind instantly know the attributes of the real self. What is that attribute? The moment I say I am real self, my mind is thinking I am real self. And that real self is beyond the body. It is infinite, like infinite space. It is the truth. It is permanent happiness. My mind has to assimilate and digest with that knowledge. So when we assimilate and digest with that knowledge and followed by the practice, the mind need not to be empty. It is already empty. It is already empty. So Patanjali says how it begins, how we begin the journey. We have to discipline and educate the mind. What is that discipline and educating the mind? First thing is to recognize. You see that what is the word recognize means? Cognition, recognition. See that? I know mind, I am in anxiety, cognition. Let me recognize, recognition. What is that recognition? It is mind, I am not the mind. See that? So when you say it in your mind, yes, mind, I can understand you are in anxiety, that is cognition. And I'm redefining the word recognition. So now I'm recognizing that I am not my mind. Mind continue. You continue to live in anxiety. What will happen? You have broken the identification. That thought of the anxiety will disappear instantly. No, I don't believe it. Let me give you another example. A man gets a call. Your house is on fire, rush. So he rushed from his office, running towards his home, and in the middle he gets another call. I am sorry, I'm from the fire department. It is not your house. Where your anxiety goes away? It is in the mind. It goes away in the next second. Why it was there? Because I identify myself with the home. So we have to break that identification in the mind. Once you break that identification, you see the calmness within. So that story in a different way is in our books. There was a Janaka, one of the greatest masters ever lived. He was a great king. But at the same time, he was also an enlightened master. So he always used to invite many masters in his kingdom, in his palace. And every monk used to come with a very small bag, keeping the 2 pairs of the clothes, claiming that they are great masters because they do not keep anything with them. So what happened? There was another master, if I am not mistaken, Yoga Vasishtha. So then the discussion started. Yoga Vasishtha says Janaka is a king, but he is the great master, so he should occupy the greatest chair in this meeting. So every other masters got furious. The moment you are furious, it is the property of the mind, then it claims that you are not. Why to worry? When you are in peace, why to worry whether you sit down or up? So the other masters did not agree for the Janaka to sit on the higher chair. Yoga Vasishtha says, no worries. Let us continue. We will see tomorrow. So in the afternoon, they all went to a river to take a bath. It was hardly a kilometer away from where you can see the palace. They all were taking bath. You see, it is a learning of how you break the identification. Palace, mansion. Mansion in US cost more than $1 million, $2 million, $10 million, $40 million. That was the palace. So a guard came running and he said, your palace is on fire. All the monks came out of the river, started running to the palace to save their small bag, except Janaka. Janaka was enjoying his bath in the river. He heard it, he said, no, let me complete my bath. And already there are guards there, so they might be taking a right action. So Yoga Vasishtha called all the monks and said, there is no fire in the palace. Look at the Janaka, who is enjoying his bath, not at all in anxiety, even if the palace is on fire. But to save your small bag, you left bathing and you kept running to save that small bag, which does not contain $1. This is a lesson of identification. Identification means attachment. Attachment means I give value to any object in the world much more than who am I. That brings an attachment. Value. I give value to something outside in the world. That causes the attachment, and that attachment causes the anxiety and the stress and the duality and a conflict. The journey starts from there. Journey starts from there. You are my honey, why don't you listen to me? Why should I say this? You do, you are independent. Why should I give value that you should say and speak the way I say you? You are independent. Why should I give value? So the value, we should not give the value, but we should keep the mind in calmness and check the mind. If the mind is giving a value, drop it. The moment you drop it, the anxiety is gone. This is what happens, and by understanding, by thinking again and again. Another way to think that peace is my essential nature. Anxiety is there, peace is my... So let me find out peace first and then I will tackle the anxiety. Let me find out the peace, then I will tackle. Let me see the calmness within. It is behind that feeling of anxiety in the mind, in the body. So what will happen? The mind will start moving within. Anxiety will go away. It happens within a second. But if you give fuel to the anxiety, means a thought, from one thought you have a second thought, from second thought you have a third. I find there is another guy who is doing sessions with me privately. He is in his 30s, is a very well built, extremely intelligent. He is in the business of construction and builders, condos, home he is building. He has built almost 10 different locations, the condos home. And every location has more than 20 or 25 homes. He says, I feel totally insecure. I have a lot of fear. Now see what he says. He says, when I go out for a walk with my dog, my mind says, you will meet with an accident, your dog will be crushed, so you will be crushed. I lose my awareness. I said, can't you say that? Can't you replace this thought? No, it is overwhelming because I am giving value to the things outside. Now, after I think 10 sessions, now he is very calm. After 10 sessions, see that. So it is that is why we say you work on the mind, or the mind will work on you. So when we work on the mind, that is what is known as the discipline and education of the mind. That is where the real journey of meditation starts. So let us, with that understanding, let us start our practice. Close your eyes. Close your eyes and close your eyes and you are comfortable. So when you are comfortable means eyes are closed and you are comfortable. So when you are comfortable means what? Comfortable is also a thought and the feeling. See that. It is nothing. It is that we have started working on the mind. That makes a sense to us. So, your position of the body and external environment, the room that is dark, you have already kept it dark. That's good in the beginning, but later we need not to worry about anything like this. So, and then being comfortable. How we become comfortable? Remember the step. What is that step? Simple. You look at. You are not making any effort. Now you give value to yourself. Starting with the body. You look at the neck joint. Be there. Experience sensation. Being comfortable. And steadiness. Nothing more, nothing less. So why we do it? When you do it regularly, continuously, the mind assimilates the knowledge. What knowledge you assimilate? See that. You look at the neck joint, feel the sensation, be comfortable, experience the steadiness. What that means? What will happen one day that every time you say, even by yourself, mind, look at the hip joint and the experience of sensation, comfort and steadiness will return. So when that returns, that anxiety, that reaction drops. You see that? That is what happens even in the very beginning of the mindfulness journey. So look at the neck joint, be there. I am not saying anything, and feel the sensation, comfort and steadiness. Shoulder joints, I am not saying, just see. If your mind remains there, you will definitely experience, but if it is not there, by repeat practice, it will happen. Then knee joints, ankles, toes, entire body, from entire body and its joints. So what is our experience? Our experience is sensation is there. Sensation is already there. What happened? The mind turned inward and it is paying little more attention to the body joints. So sensation is already there, but we experience comfort, sensation and steadiness. How simple it is. And then being carefree. That is another challenge. Why I say carefree? Every thought means there must be some object in the thought that belongs to the world. It may be a person, it may be an event, it may be a thing, it may, and all these are unnecessary at this point of time. So that is why we say be carefree. Let the thought come. It pertains an object and I am not interested. I am not interested. So means what? I separates itself from all the thoughts, feeling and the sensations. Understand in a different way. You are carefree. What is that other way of understanding? We see, I see you, you see me through the sense organ. We feel, sense, touch, smell the objects of the world. That is one way of acquiring the knowledge. Other way of acquiring the knowledge is the subtle way, where the sense organs are not involved, but feeling, thoughts, images, visions, they come and go. So what we say, let them come, let them go. Let them come, let them go. See that we are not doing anything, we are simply watching the thought. Why we are watching that? They are not me. Why I am watching cognition? And then the knowledge says recognition. What is that recognition? It is neither me nor mine. How simple it is. So when that happens, what happens to your mind? The mind separates itself from the thoughts, and when it separates, the value is gone. Value is gone, then what happens? You are free. This process is known as discernment and dispassion. I had talked about it a couple of times, reminding you. Now live into that state of being natural and effortless. One, you are not doing anything. Second, you are aware of everything. You are aware of the world outside. You are aware of the body and the experience of sensation, steadiness in the body. You are aware of the thoughts. They are coming and going. That's all. Finished. We are not doing anything at all. So, because now see, when these thoughts which does not help me to know who am I, it goes to who am I not, then that is what is known as the impurity in the mind. That is another way to understand. So let us purify the mind. How? By the Hatha Yoga practice. What is Hatha Yoga practice? The breathing. So when we start breathing quick, short, and the fast, the mind follows the quick, short, and the fast. It starts dropping all the thought process. So let us start breathing quick, short, and the fast with breathing from the rib cage. Just playful breath. So you pay attention to the playful breath, quick, short, and fast breath, so that no thought comes in between the two breaths. Continue quick, short, and the fast breath. Continue. And stop it. You see that the problem with the mind is that if we do it for a longer period, mind says it is too much. When we do it for a shorter period, the mind says, no, I feel sleepy. So as we continue to increase the duration, we may enter into a little higher level of awareness. Now let us try with another step. Start breathing little deep, silent and slow. No noise. As you inhale, first belly, then chest, then up to the collarbone. And when you exhale, first you exhale from the belly, then from the chest up to the throat. It should be deep, silent and slow. So what happens? As you inhale, deep, silent and slow, it is but effect coming from the science, even though we don't need that science in the practice. So what happens? As you inhale, deep, silent and slow, more oxygen is absorbed by the brain. Brain reaches to a state of alertness and attention. And when there is a higher level of awareness and attention, in that state the intellect works at its best and we start working on the mind. At the same time, we release more carbon dioxide that induces a sense of relaxation and calmness. That is what our science says, that by a deep, silent and slow breathing, we influence peripheral and chemoreceptors attached to the brain and the lungs. Look at it. Oh, this is what happens. So let me do it again. Let the mind be inspired. Continue doing it. Continue deep, silent and slow breathing. Deep, silent and slow breathing. First into the belly, and every time the next breath is deeper than the previous one. And when that happens, the mind begins living within, going within. And when that happens, mind goes within and living within, it induces a kind of calmness. Continue the journey. Now leave this deep, silent and breathing also. Now let us move into a passive state. Examine. Look at the head and the neck. Look at the head and the neck from your mind, means you are aware of it. And when you are aware, experience sensation, relaxation and stillness. That's good. Now look at the right arm. We move the mind and the entire body. Why? In order to keep the mind within. So the mind goes to the right arm. You feel it. So when you feel it, experience sensation, relaxation and stillness. How simple it is. You move the mind. You move the mind on the left arm. Be there. Feel. What do you feel? Simply feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. How simple it is. Move the mind on the chest and the belly. Be there, feel sensation, relaxation and stillness. Move the mind on the spine. Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Move the mind on the right leg. Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Move the mind on the left leg. Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Move the mind on the entire body. Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Now in that state, what we do in that state, you look at the breath. When the breath goes in, simply look deep inside the head and drop Om Shanti. When the breath comes out, Om Shanti. When it goes, Om Shanti. When it comes out, Om Shanti. Simple. Doing nothing, Om Shanti, and with the meaning. And if you do it with the meaning, that takes you to a deeper state of meditation. Om Shanti. So we check that the mind is still distracted, going anywhere, or it continues to drop Om Shanti deep inside the head. It will give us a clarity that where we are and what we need to do. We keep the knowledge intact. When you keep the knowledge intact, the experience is deeper. Continue when the breath goes in. We are concluding the practice, but continue. Breath goes in, looking at a point in the forehead. Why we do it? We do it to check if we are working on the mind or the mind is still working on us. And now do nothing for a while. You live into that state of doing nothing in meditation. What happens? The knowledge of the reality reveals from within. And what is that knowledge of the reality? That I am the real self. What is real self? It is pure consciousness, truth, permanent happiness, love and wisdom. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring the mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. What do we see? Darkness. But in that darkness also we can experience the state where we are in. Bring the hands down. We will share our experiences now. How are you?
I became very calm and still.
Calm and still, that is good.
Yeah. Well, when I go to bed, I'll do the same.
Yes, I'm sending you this file.
Yeah.
So you see that this is knowledge is required plus practice. If the knowledge is not there,
yeah,
then the practice takes long time. Practice takes long time. This is what happens. So, summary is constant remembering in the mind, I am not the body and the mind, and I am the real self. So the mind leaves all the thoughts and the mind moves into the state of calmness. Anyhow, and I got the first